What's happening with the procurement process? The North Carolina Department of Administration is modernizing the state's procurement process to give state agencies more flexibility to conduct business efficiently while remaining fair, open, and transparent. Updating some of the rules will simplify and streamline the process, shorten procurement process timeframe, promote greater oversight and strategic planning, and increase hub participation. Not only will the proposed new rules modernize the way the divisions and purchasing agents procure goods and services, it also will save staff time and money. What are the proposed changes? There are several proposed changes to the current rules. The most significant proposed change pertains to the rule related to spending amounts for purchases. The first proposed update sets 3 distinct levels for purchasing based on spending amount: one for small purchases, another for informal bidding, and a third for formal bidding. P&C proposes increasing the small purchase threshold from $5,000 to $25,000 to allow for greater flexibility due to market changes and inflation. Furthermore, this threshold will be updated every 2 years to keep up with inflation. While the small purchase threshold will change, the way these purchases are processed will stay the same. Purchasing agencies set the procedures and make awards for these purchases, opening the opportunity for agencies to prioritize the use of hub vendors in this space. Increasing the informal purchase threshold. The lower limit of the threshold will change from $5,000 to $25,000. The upper limit will change from $10,000 to the amount of the agency's general delegation. There will be no change to process. The colloquial 3 quotes and a buy summarizes the solicitation process in the intermediate informal range. Increasing the formal purchase threshold. Most agencies' general delegations will be increased to $50,000, with $100,000 being the current statutory max. P&C intends to raise the benchmark for most agencies to $100,000 over the next several years. In addition to the change in threshold amount, all solicitations will be processed the way that services are currently processed. The goal is for agencies to create their own solicitations. P&C will focus on reviewing and approving prior to posting and awarding. Revises definitions. This proposed rule update revises 6 terms: solicitation document, renewal, initial contract term, professional service, extension, and contract term. For example, the terms renewals and extensions were sometimes used interchangeably. The new definitions included in this rule highlight the differences between the 2 terms. Updates the solicitation document. This rule has been updated to outline the minimum requirements for P&C solicitation documents. Creates terms and conditions. This new rule outlines the minimum requirements for the North Carolina General Terms and Conditions that will be added to the solicitation document templates. Creates contract term. This new rule places limitations on contract term, including the number of renewals and triggers for state procurement officer approval. It limits contracts to a 3-year term or 2 one-year renewals without approval from the state procurement officer. However, the state procurement officer must approve all contracts beyond those terms. Formalizes posting requirements for contract extensions. This new rule will help make contracts more consistent by specifying the information required to be posted to the Interactive Purchasing System, or IPS, every time a contract is extended. The change will also help promote transparency. Provides guidance for contract extensions or renewals. This new rule will provide guidance about who must approve a contract extension or renewal, when an extension or renewal is appropriate, when the purchasing agency is required to seek prior approval from the state procurement officer. The proposed rule also will provide the purchasing agency with required factors to consider before renewing or extending a contract, such as market research and changes in the supply chain. Find more in-depth information on the proposed rules by clicking on the link below and visiting the North Carolina Department of Administration website.